Tapping in.
Are we live?
Hey, Miles, you know, at this point, it pretty much just seems like we have it out for Elon Musk, is what it seems like. And I don't like the fact that Musk news just is so content worthy every time it comes up on this show. And here we are again, another week. Miles about to hate on Elon Musk. Miles, what grinds your gears about Elon Musk this week?
First of all, Musk news is nasty. in any context, Musk news is gross, fam. So check this out, man. And I don't know why our man keeps popping up, but where there's smoke, there's fire. He always in the middle of something. That just tell you what type of person he is. And as a billionaire, when you're always in the middle of stuff, you can mess a lot of stuff up. So what Elon has messed up this time is trying to mess up is remote work. He's trying to mess it up for all of us. I don't know about you. I'm home. Zoe, you at home?
Home, outside, and all the above, you know, is how I am. But like this might like look. Let's give people some context on this story. Let's be professional about this. So Elon Musk sends an email out last week to his staff at Tesla. The subject of the email is remote work is no longer acceptable, directly from Elon Musk to executive staff. So it says, anyone who wishes to do remote work must be in the office for a minimum, and I mean a minimum of 40 hours per week, or depart Tesla. This is less than we ask of factory workers. If there are particularly exceptional contributors from whom this is possible, I will review and approve those exceptions directly. Moreover, the office must be a main Tesla office, not a remote branch office unrelated to job duties. For example, being responsible for firm and factory human relations, but having your office be in another state. Thanks, Elon.
Those of us who have had any experience at all in the corporate world know that this is a spicy email. That joint is hot.
I've definitely seen this one before.
It's a lot of big words in it. You know what I'm saying? The language is deceptive of how heated this man is behind the keyboard, right? When he put in parentheses, and I mean it, like, oh man, that's a lot, bro. So basically what he's saying, he's fed up. He wants people to come back into the office. I am among the work from home nation who transitioned to working from home during COVID, and I ain't going back. at least not all the way, right? So I'm probably 3 days a week in the office, 2 at home. Kind of depends on how the week is going and what meetings I have to get to. But I deeply appreciate the productivity across the board that I'm able to accomplish when I get to work from home. And I think that is the sentiment that a lot of folks around the world really are feeling. And there are some companies that are pushing back. I think the really interesting thing here is that Elon Musk is often thought of or framed as like a forward thinker. And this is a little bit, this is kind of cantankerous old manish of him to say this. I think if you're viewing it from the perspective of where work is going and the capabilities we have.
Nah, bro. Nah, I don't think it's a matter of it being cantankerous. I think like there's a high possibility. There is a reality where the work that is required for this business to conduct in a way that fits the leader has to be in a certain manner. You know, so figureheads like your Musks, who are these single authority figureheads, the buck stops here type dudes. The system works according to what his preferences are. And I do know that there are some bosses that their preference of being able to work at an optimum is by seeing everybody around them. A lot of these dudes is lonely. A lot of these dudes are sad. A lot of these dudes don't have no friends. And like that's also a bit of a part of it. But it's to a certain extent, it's like this, right? If I built this thing this way, I built this brick by brick. You know what I mean? So when you come in here, you can do it exactly how I said you should do it. So on one end, man, I think we like to villainize Elon Musk a little bit, man. But like, I'm positive that in either my future or your future, an email like this will have an email of this sort of spiciness might have to be sent out.
I don't disagree with that. I think sometimes you gotta be able to put your foot down, but you gotta pick your battles as well. And I think this is a case where I feel I can understand him being as dedicated as he's dedicated. But if you're Elon Musk, is it fair for you to expect all of your other employees to care about Tesla as much as you do?
Like, if I'm paying them, yeah.
I guess, but if you're, I think this illuminates like a blind spot that he has, because if that's not what's in demand, then you're going to lose mad talent, right? If people are saying like, yo, I want to work from home, and there are multi-million-dollar companies, billion-dollar companies that are offering that as an option, then sure, Elon Musk can set his rules to be as rigid as he wants. But I think you deprive yourself of top talent that's going to go somewhere that's going to allow them to operate the way that they want to operate, in a way that, I mean, there is data out there to show that we've been more successful or been as productive, if not more productive, since coming home. So
I'm glad you touched on that statistic of being more productive. So there's a book called Remote Work Revolution. And what they talk about is where work is effective and where it's not effective, at least where remote work is effective and not effective. And it is true. The work rate does increase from work from home, but also some people do say that the work from home structure has blurred the lines between when work starts and where work stops. Another statistic that is in this remote work conversation is the fact that turnover is a lot higher under remote work, whereas if people come into the office, turnover is not as high. So there's one thing you know is to say you will lose talent that might not want to come because of that, but you're also likely to lose talent from utilizing that model.
Yeah, that's true. You gotta. There are some realities you got to deal with. Now, at some point, somebody gonna do some dishes. At some point, somebody gonna do some laundry. At some point, somebody gonna change your baby. At some point, somebody gonna have a whole nother job that you don't know about. All right, but what you gotta understand is that's how it's gonna operate. And the reason, the hole in this whole story that I know you don't believe in, Mr. KPI, is set your KPIs, right? Set your key performance indicators. You be on my ass about KPIs all damn week. I know you know about KPIs. You set your KPIs, let people know this is what you got to do. This is what we expect of you. This is by when you need to do it. And as long as they're hitting them bad boys, what you gonna say? Let me do my laundry. Let me do Uber Eats on the side. Whatever I got to do. You know what I'm saying? Something got to give.
But look, this is the reality of at least what it seems like is that it does not look like it's fun to work in Tesla. that directly coming from a lot of the people from within who have talked about some of the racism that happens in there, a lot of the prejudice that goes on in there. We famously covered somebody who had gotten Amazon and Tesla got $100 million off of inner work racism.
I think that was Amazon. No, it was
Tesla.
It was Tesla.
Tesla. But yo, they got $100 million worth of racism going on over there, so it doesn't look fun. So if you're going there, you better know what you're going for.
But also, that's also another problem that I have with this tweet, because he says, you know, look, anyone who wishes to do remote work must be in the office for a minimum, and I mean a minimum of 40 hours per week, or depart Tesla. This is less than we ask of our factory workers. He throwing the factory workers in there like he cool with them. I feel like they must have read this and been like, nah, we don't mess with you either.
You're not wrong there. You
false flagging like a mug.
But as somebody that has gotten this sort of email before, man, you know, we've been through the trenches with all sorts of different types of bosses and whatnot. And one thing is that when building your own structure, organization, company, whatever, there is a method that you prefer to operate at that you believe will bring the best result of your output or the team's output. And when you're speaking of a man that's achieved the level of success that this man has, clearly his process of putting together corporate structures has some merit towards it. And if he so seems to fit that is that, and so be that. But that being said, if anyone steps into that space, it's on you to know exactly how they work in that office space, you know. And if you're willing to be able to withstand the fire, then by all means go there and get called the nigga, bro. Get called the nigga.
I don't think working at Tesla is asking to be subject to racism.
The court would literally say otherwise.
Yeah, bruh. Yeah, well, we know for a fact that the court be saying some wild stuff. So check out our last segment. But if you don't think that the corporate culture at Tesla will be for you, Lyft has adopted a fully flexible workspace. Reddit switched to a permanent hybrid model in October, and Spotify's Work from Anywhere program launched in February 2021. So it's just funny to me that the dude that just bought Twitter is showing himself to be so against the trend of where his competition is going. But hey, man, if it produces, I ain't even gonna say that. I ain't even gonna say if it's successful, I'm with him. We ain't with you on this one, Elon. Undoubtedly there'll be another segment. This man cannot stay away from the podcast. So, friend of the show, Elon Musk, man. Whenever the next time you come up, I hope we got something more positive to talk about, bro.
I'll tell you what, man, as somebody that employs people and as somebody that's really passionate about the teams that I work with, and someone that takes that type of role very, very seriously, being heavily invested in understanding different managerial styles, different motivational strategies. Currently reading Black Box Thinking by Ahmed Saeed, which speaks about different ways of being able to fail-proof systems through planning. These KPIs you speak of that I'm so adamant about come from that theory. All to say, man, that at the heart of it, the most important thing is to want to get the best of the people out of you, of the people around you, wanting them to realize their fullest potential and making sure that all the opportunities for them to do so are there. Emails like this, as much as I could, defend the man's position in him, to me have always been discouraging. So I don't think I'd ever be somebody that would issue out statements of this nature. But it's different strokes for different folks in this game of business.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'll be real, like, especially in the work that I do, it's very important that some of it is in person, right? We're trying to convene an organized community. We're trying to share histories, stories, ideas, methods of action and of affecting change. So in a lot of ways, it's important that we're in the room together. I think the strategy or approach that any manager should take, rather than decide your stance on an issue and issue that out to your people, talk to the people, find out what's needed and necessary to get the work done, not only from your perspective, but from the perspective of the people that are doing the things that you don't have your hands on. Incorporate all of that into your business model and your way to move forward. And I think you'll have a healthy team, just like the many that Zway has operating under him. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm fortunate in that in many of these teams, I get to do work alongside my brother, Miles Xavier. And one of our most favorite things to do, man, is come here every week to talk to y'all onto the show. So thank you to everyone that's in the comment section. Thank you to everyone that's busy watching us. Thank you to the conversations that y'all give us when we're not in this space. Thank you to those that feel invested in this, and want to be able to share this experience with us. We appreciate each and every one of you.